Hello and welcome back to the Introduction to Python series. In the previous video, we discussed about basic syntaxes of function, return types in function, and arguments in function. In this video, we are going to discuss about different types of arguments in a function. First one is positional arguments. Suppose you are defining a function. Let me define function with variables a comma b, and let me write some set of code. Suppose I'm passing the value 10 comma 12 inside the function. So these are positional arguments. The first position will be given to A, the second one will be taken by B. So simply A is equals to 10 and B is equals to 12. These are positional arguments. The first position is given to the first variable, the second position is given to the second value, and so on. Let us do it in compiler. Let me define a function f with variables a comma b, and let me print first value a. Okay, print value of b as b. Okay, let me call the function with 10 comma 12, and if I execute the statement, I'll get value of a is 10 and b is 12. If I replace it, I'll get value of a is 12 and b is 10. So these are positional arguments. Okay, now what if you are using someone else's function? The function was defined by someone else in your company, and you need to write the function. But the only thing you know is we are passing two variables a and b. Now in the previous example, we took a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 12. These are of same data type. What if they are of different data types and we are performing some operations? Let us do it in compiler. Suppose I have a is a string, a is something which is 12. Okay, and if I perform an operation like a is equals to a plus 10. Okay, let me take a as an integer and b to be string, like b is abc. Okay, if I run the statement, I'll get a as 22 and b as abc. But what if I replace this like this one? I'll get an error. Can only concatenate string, not integer, because we do not know the value of a. Suppose this function was not defined here. This was defined somewhere in your computer. Just you're calling the function, but you do not know. You only know that you need to pass a string as well as integer, but you don't know to which variable you are passing. So here comes the keyworded arguments. So you are defining a function with variables a comma b, and you know that a is a string, but you do not know its position. B is a value, but you do not know its position. So what we do is we call a function with a is equals to abc, b is equals to some 12, or you can also do it as b is equals to 12, a is equals to abc. So what happens is whatever value you are sending it in the form of b, this will go inside b, and whatever you are sending inside a will go inside a. Let us do it in compiler. Okay, let me define a function. The function a comma b, and let me print a as a, print b as b. Let me call the function a is equals to 10, b is equals to 12, or let me take b as string. So what I got a is 10 and b is abc. Now what if I change the values like 10? So I'm passing the arguments in reverse fashion, but it gets successfully executed. So a is taking the value 10 itself. And what if I perform the operations a is equals to 10, a plus 10? So this will execute successfully. Unlike in positional arguments, if we send the position, if we are not mentioning a and b, if we do this operation, we'll get an error. But in keyworded arguments, you are sending the key. So you are avoiding an error. Okay, let me take this as b and this as a. So you can skip the error. This is all about keyworded arguments in Python. Now comes variable length arguments. So there are two types of variable length. One is args and one is quarks. One is args and the other is quarks. Let me tell you, your let us take the same example, which is ATM pin. So you are entering the value. Suppose you are a new user, you are entering your values into database. And there are few optional parameters like name or like guardian name or any other thing. So what you are doing is, this depends on the user. Suppose I enter the guardian name, my length may be 2. And suppose the user is not entering the guardian name. So the number of arguments may be 1. So here the number of arguments is variable. It may be 1, 2 or n number of n number. So what we do is, we take a variable length argument like arg or any other data name you give. So what happens is, whenever you are giving a variable length argument, like you can give 10 or 12 arguments, it depends. So this will be stored inside this keyword arg as a tuple. Let me show you in the compiler. Suppose I'm writing a function a with which takes a and b as parameters, and let me print a comma b. If I call the function with three variable names 10 comma 12 comma some abc, and if I execute this, I'll get an error. See here, function takes two positional arguments but three were given. See, we were giving three, but what if I do if I write star here? So I got first positional argument to be a, and the second thing, whatever comes from here, will be taken in the form of tuple. Okay, let me increase the variable length, this arguments to 3. So what I get, 10 comma 12 a b c t. So whenever you face a scenario in which you need to send two or more variables, but you do not know the exact number, then you can use variable length arguments. Okay, let me show you three variables with c as the variable length argument. Print a comma b comma c. Let me call the function 10 comma 12 comma abc. Okay, let me just take three variables. So I'll get it as 10, 12 and abc. Suppose I change to 8, 9, 10. So first positional argument is taken as 10, second will be 12, and whatever might be the third one. From third, it is taken in the form of tuple. This is about variable length argument. Now let's discuss about keyworded arguments. Okay, now you're sending more than one argument inside the function, but you do not know which argument belongs to what. Like suppose I'm sending ATM pin as well as account number as an argument. Both these are numbers. Like, let me take the pin as 1 2 3 and the account number as 4 5 6. How the compiler understands this is 1 2 3 belongs to pin, 4 5 6 belongs to account number. So the best thing is to store it in the form of dictionary. Like you are giving key as pin and the value as 1 2 3 in order to access elements in the keyworded arguments. Okay, now let us take the previous example. Let me run this. I got ABC 8 9 10 in the form of tuple. Okay, so what I do is I change this as pin is equals to ABC, some variable h is equals to 8, I is equals to 9 and j is equals to 10. And if I run this statement, I'll get an error. See, got an unexpected argument pin. But what if I write other star here, which is keyworded variable length argument? So if I print the value of C, I'll get it in the form of dictionary. C pin is associated with ABC, H with 8, I with 9 and J with 10. Let us take the previous example of ATM pin generation. Like we write the function a, b, and let us take the keyworded argument as c, and let me print c. Let me take two variables a comma b, and I need to write pin is equals to some 2333. Account number is equals to some 985. Date of birth is equals to 230 2303 something. And if I execute this statement, I'll get a key and a value associated with this. So whenever you want to send a variable length arguments which you need to have it in the form of key and value pairs, you can send it just by writing the key and value pair inside this function. And if I want to get the values, like this was a dictionary, so I can write for inc dot keys. So I can do it as c and c of I. If I print this, I'll get pin 2303. So this is simply iterating through a dictionary, and you can use them by just calling the dictionary. This is all about the three different types of arguments, which is positional arguments, variable keyworded arguments, and variable length arguments. This is all about this video. In the next video, we are going to discuss about default keyword in Python.